go? Okay. Right, okay, just wanted to say welcome to our presentation on Odeon Cinemas UK. We're going to be trying to find a problem with them and then providing a solution for that problem.
Apart from the camera over there, so it's fine.
Come in, it's fine. We've literally just started.
So sorry. So sorry.
Okay, I'll just pass you over to Nick to talk about cinema history.
Hello guys, welcome. So yeah, I'm going to first of all talk about some cinema history to you guys to get a feeling of how things have progressed through time. There's been some compelling changes since the birth of film in the late 1880s. Motion pictures were originally designed for the sort of the novelty factor for people to see realistic moving photographs. Now, however, it's developed into one of the most important tools for communication, mass media and entertainment. In the 1920s, film was all black and white and would be silent. This could sometimes lead to a rather boisterous affair though with the backing sounds, because they'd actually get live performers to come in who would perform, say, pianists or vocalists who would actually make the sounds for the movies themselves. There was a guy called John Clogg, some of you may have heard of him. He was actually a comedian who got into doing this sort of the backing effects. I would sometimes play like a sweet melody over a fight scene, or the opposite would be made doing a marching pianist-like style over a love scene. But this was quite a novelty effect, and people quite enjoyed going to the cinema and seeing this, and it proved a great watch. And sometimes, like the audience back then, and it sounds quite strange, but they would hold up their orange peels and peanut shells. So if you've got anything to hold up in the audience, nothing at all? Okay, not quite the same as back then, but you know, that's what they had there. As you've come in, I don't know if all of you have done an informal competition, but they enjoyed doing something called a spot prize, where people would, sometimes it would be completely random, or it would be, you know, something as simple as the competition we've just done here. We asked you when the first full audio film was released, and it was in 1929, where blackmail was converted to full audio. So someone's won that one. I'll have a look. I saw someone say it. Hannah Robinson.
Yeah.
So this is your spot prize. It's for Ferrero Rocher for you.
Inside a knife, was it?
Did you look that up, Hannah? Did you look that up or something, Hannah?
No, I just put me, Chrissy, Martine in a row.
That's good guesswork there. So during like World War II, it was really where cinema was hitting its booming period. Between sort of 1942 to 1945, people would go to the cinema to get away from sort of the depression which was going on at that period, sort of looking for escapism, and to have a chance of sort of actually seeing what was going on with the war. So it was their only visual representation at that time, because everything else was all newspapers or brochures or flyers, whereas actually they could go and see reels of what was happening at the time. So it was quite a decent sort of effect for them there. Also, the money spent on films in that era was 23% of people's actual income, compared to now in America where it would only be 2%. It really has decreased, and that was known as the golden age of Hollywood. So what happened really? You can see here the emissions timeline. In sort of the late 1940s, I was saying, as the sort of the booming era. By the 50s, of course, the birth of the television was the main problem. There was 4 million had TVs by the point in 1950, and 5 years later that turned up to 30 million. So obviously it just kept increasing without opportunity to watch at home, and cinemas just really were decreasing. By the 60s and 70s, it was still, cinemas were struggling with people actually attending. Cinemas were starting to look at other options which they could do. So they turned into sort of the multiplex era, where the main issue was, come in. Hi, come in, pick up some whatever you like. Take a seat. Yeah, the multiplex era, where the main issue was around this era was that people could get to the cinema but not actually see the film at the time they wanted. So with having loads and loads of screens and loads of multiplexes built up, people could sort of choose the time when they wanted to go and see the film. It'd be a lot easier for people to get there. As you can see through the last 10 years, it's been pretty flat compared to what it was previously, but it has been slightly increasing. I mean, there's been obviously huge issues with the fact that there's been DVDs, before that VHS, Blu-ray. There's a lot of possibilities for people to watch at home. There's a slight increase to see in 2012. However, through research, it was actually going to be a terrible year for the cinema, but Skyfall completely broke box office records, which took 30% of the market share that year. But without Skyfall, it would have dipped again. But that's not really a sustainable way of looking at the industry right now. Okay, this is just a little video just to take you through the sort of history of films. You'll probably recognise a few of these. Hope you guys enjoyed that and maybe brought back a few memories of some of the films there. So we've looked through the history, and now we're going to start looking at sort of Odeon today. We've just put up a few sort of fun facts and a few interesting facts about Odeon itself. 100 cinemas, over 850 screens in the UK only, sell almost 2,000 tonnes of popcorn every year, a huge amount of drinks as well, which they sell. Also the fact that Odeon have been through a fair changes of sort of ownerships and company mergers over the years. In 2000 it was owned by a company called Rank Group, who were the chain owners. However, they had to clear their debt with Cinven, who in turn merged ABC with Odeon. You might see quite a few ABC cinemas very much next to Odeon or in similar complexes. However, that was bought out by Terra Firma in 2004, amalgamated Odeon with UCI, which has now taken Odeon not just in the UK but actually through Europe. Just something we didn't realise before we did this presentation. We actually realised that Odeon was a lot bigger than it was. It's the largest chain as well in Europe now. And we looked through some of the last year's ratings and rankings of where Odeon was standing. In Europe itself, it has actually increased with attendance and revenue by 4%. However, in the UK, it's only stayed in line. And this was mainly due to, Odeon have blamed huge, large-scale events such as European Football Championship, which certainly took my attention away from the cinema because I was watching a lot of that. But there was also things like the Queen's Diamond Jubilee, Olympic and Paralympic Games, and these huge events were affecting cinema attendance. So to combat some of these figures, Odeon have looked towards food and drink. They've made quite a few franchises with companies such as Ben & Jerry's or Costa Coffee or Yog as well, which is a frozen yogurt company. Probably seen them going to a lot of Odeon cinemas. A lot of the time you're spending your money on their Ben & Jerry's and their Costa and their sort of refreshments. And they have a massive markup on that by 85%. So you think how much that is, just incredible amount of price increase on that. And it's not just the refreshments that they're increasing the price with, it's the cinema tickets themselves. In 2002, it cost you £4.27 on average to go to the cinema, and now it's up to £6.37, which, yes, obviously things have been increasing, and prices have been increasing with inflation, but this is going at a higher rate. So cinemas are really upping the price of not just their refreshments, but their tickets as well to stay in line and actually keep it live right now. Another factor is called the theatrical window, which is the time frame between when a film comes out on the cinema itself, when it's premiered, and the period it takes until it gets into DVD shelves, like into town and in shops. And this bridge has been really decreasing, and this time frame has been shortening. It was in 1999. It took 27 weeks for a film to come out, premiere on the screens themselves, until they went out actually onto shop floors. Whereas now it's decreased down to only 17 weeks. I mean, that time frame really is shortening, and that certainly maybe affect my thoughts of going to the cinema if I know that a film's coming out on DVD or Blu-ray in a short period of time. Do you want to wait it out and maybe just watch it then, or not? Or do you actually make the effort to go to the cinema? And the biggest one here is TV piracy. I'm personally one to stream movies. I'm not couldn't lie about that. I occasionally will go to the cinema and watch the main films I want to see, but it's been a huge effect. Looking back in 2011, there was losses to the cinema were estimated to be 216 million, which is 34 million attendance, which is huge, absolutely massive. So whether it's been illegally recorded or traded, the talents of those people, not just the makers of the movies, but the actors and everyone getting involved, is being totally unrewarded, which definitely makes you think, doesn't it? It's like, what's going to happen to the future of film if these people are not being rewarded for their efforts? Are there going to be good films coming out in the future? There are companies who are trying to, cut down on this. The recording industry of America are working on strategies to really stop this, especially on the internet side of things, and shutting down a lot of these websites, which make it enabling people to be able to watch films, but it's not quite happened yet, has it? Okay, so I'm just going to pass you over to Jordan, and he's going to talk to you about Odeon's substitutes and competitors.
Thanks, Nick. Okay, cool. So these are the top 3 cinema chains in the UK. Odeon is the biggest. They have 114 sites of 868 screens. Closely followed by Cineworld. You can see that the market share for Odeon is 24.9%. And Odeon just a couple points, Cineworld, just a couple points behind with 24.7%. However, Cineworld only have 80 sites with 799 screens, so they have 30 less sites. However, their market share isn't so far away from Odeon. When looking closely at Cineworld, a couple of the offers that they do at the moment, they offer the unlimited card, which is £15 a month. It basically allows you to go to the cinema as many times as you want, as well as getting discounts on food and drink and other special offers. They have IMAX screens in 8 of their locations, and also they've teamed up recently with Starbucks coffees to create some cafes in their cinema, so you can get your favourite drink, relax for a while, and also access free Wi-Fi. Okay, so View Cinema is the third largest UK cinema company. They offer VIP seating, so extra leg room, and obviously typically in the best place in the screen. But obviously this is quite commonplace throughout the UK market, with Cineworld and Odeon also offering similar sort of products. They also have bigger screens, and something new that they've tried is called View Scene. It's only available in one location in London. It's basically a posher sort of screening room with a private bar and concierge cloak service. So it's something that they're trying, could be seen to expand in the future. They offer a third off tickets on a Tuesday to try and get people in at off-peak times. Special screenings for over 60s, and also free Wi-Fi in all their cinemas. Also something that View do, they're quite interested in sort of the experiential side of things, where they'll team up with films that are coming out. This is for The Wizard of Oz, and to create sort of mini experiences that their customers can enjoy and hopefully drive them to the cinemas in the future. Okay, so Showcase Cinemas, they are currently the 4th largest in the UK. They have 20 cinemas, and also they now have 3 new locations which are Showcase Deluxe products. They're currently new into the market, and as you can see, they're really focusing on the sort of premium experience. It's very plush. They have sort of lounge areas, they have their own bars and even their own restaurants. So it's kind of taking the whole experience of going out for a night and going to a restaurant and then to the cinema, but you can just do it all in the same place and kind of spend more time there, have more relaxed and enjoy it really. Also the cinema screens themselves, they have sort of luxurious leather seats, they even have couple seats, and you can bring in food and drink with you to the actual cinema. Awesome. So Rogan's going to talk about the missing demographic.
Okay, so we had a look at some of the statistics and some of the figures around the marketplace to see if there's any gaps that we can move into. We noticed that there was a missing demographic. As you can see in the top graph here, the 45 plus age range over the last few years has actually increased the percentage of the emissions overall in the UK, which seems like it's a positive thing for the plus 45. But if you actually look at how much percentage of the UK population they take up, then I'll put that into the same graph so it's a bit more easier for you to see. They're actually a largely underrepresented population of the UK for cinema attendance, with the gap where the green arrow is showing the difference between how many people there are and how many of those people are going to the cinema. So they're quite underrepresented. So what are this group defined by? They have quite a low internet presence and therefore will use things like Netflix and streaming videos much less than the younger generations. Therefore, obviously, they have less piracy as well with not using the internet. And being an increasing demographic, that's something that we can aim for in the future with the baby boom coming through and more people in that age bracket going to be there in the future. So another thing that categorises this age group is the sort of themes of films that they like. In the top left corner, I did some working out of what genre each age group like, and what come up with is what's at the bottom. Generally comedy across the board, everyone likes a bit of comedy, but the main differences that we could see with the older generations is they prefer a bit more drama, adventure and less action. So they're sort of more of a relaxed atmosphere in their cinema experience. So let's put that into images. What you can see here is some of the top 5 films, some images from those films for that age category. And what you can get from that is quite a royal, quite a dramatic feel and quite a classy historical feel to what they like as well. So that's something that we wanted to look at if we moved into that age bracket. We need to see what they like and try and move towards that. Okay, I'll pass you back over to Nick, who's going to talk about motivation.
Okay, so we sort of know the demographic of what we're going for here, but we need to look into a bit of the theory side of things and sort of understanding why people are wanting to go to the cinema and some of the reasons why people are not choosing to go to the cinema. Curado and Moller have attained 4 reasons, such as social hedonism, entertainment, cultural development, hobby, and also Cooper and Tower have got their motivation needs for cultural events. That's as a whole, not just cinema, but we feel that the cinema definitely ticks all the boxes for the ideals, the emotional needs, personal needs, social needs, and basic. I mean, people go to the cinema to combat boredom, something to go out and do on the weekend or maybe on an Orange Wednesday, whatever you'd like. Social relationships, it's entertainment, relaxation with a lot of the high-tech cinema with nice, decent seating. We feel they do encapsulate all of those different aspects. But as well as looking at the theory side of things, we did carry out a questionnaire as well. We mainly asked like our grandparents and friends of grandparents and people that we knew who were in that age bracket. And you can see that through some of the questionnaire answers it's in a brochure, and you can see some of the main reasons for them. And the main motivational reasons were actually, we thought quite surprisingly, were actually the picture and 3D graphics, and of course the big screens and comfy seats. So looking at what we're going to do in the future, we're not really thinking we have to take it back completely, because the picture and the 3D graphics is a huge thing for that age group. They do love the big screens and the comfy seating. However, there's still that massive issue of home entertainment. With all the technical increases with 3D, you can actually get that at home yourself now, and with those comfortable seatings, you can get that at home. Like massive TVs are becoming quite a popular thing in a lot of homes, and if you can get the sound systems and watch those movies at home, it is a massive problem for people. We did look as well to some of the motivational needs of the younger adults as well, just to get a full idea of the reasons why. And around the age range of 16 to 24, a lot of the reasons why they're not going to the cinema, they're interested in other factors to gain their sort of escapism away from sort of things of school and uni and things like that. But some of them would be actually going to the shopping, going to restaurants, going bowling. But the issue with that is a lot of these places are now kind of in the same area, in the same multiplexes as the cinema itself. So people go down maybe to potentially go to the cinema that day, but actually see bowling or a nice restaurant, or in the same area of the shops, and it's again proving another threat, what Jordan was saying earlier, a threat to the cinema. So after looking at the questionnaire and looking at other reasons why people are going to cinema, a lot of it is the experiential side of things. You can see here from Schmidt, there's a quote really focused on the fact that consumers are rational and emotional human beings, so achieving pleasurable experiences. If you can see here, there's two of the models here. There's the Ada model and the Reed model. In the fast growing economy right now, consumers are desiring needs which are more demanding. They want their senses dazzled. They look for emotive memories and to realise their dreams and achieve their desired lifestyle. On the left, the Ada model was been around since the 1900s, used to sort of illustrate consumer purchasing. The funnel indicates the larger quantity of potential purchasers becoming aware, and then a smaller subset interested, with numbers diminishing from there onwards. These kind of different factors, the A and the I, the DA, it's kind of like the advertising, the PR for the interest, the desire is to fulfill the needs, and the actions, maybe sales promotions and things like that. However, they don't combine things which the Green model has got, which was by Blank in 2006. It's kind of got similar aspects with the awareness side of the reach, but it's more about engaging consumers, you see, and actually nurturing them for the future, because we want to make sure that when people are going to the cinema, people are not just wanting to have sort of that transactional approach, going in, see the film, off they go, they aren't getting an actual experience from it. Whereas if you can try and engage them and maybe keep them in the cinema for longer, or offer other services in there which people are going to enjoy, it will nurture them for future, and hopefully they'll return again.
Okay, so this is an actual example of what View Cinemas did. They teamed up with Disney's Frozen to create a sort of experience in one of their cinemas. It was used to promote the film and engage customers with a 3D preview and also photo opportunities in a themed environment which they created. This experience creates impact in customers and will hopefully drive them to see the film and to visit the cinema in the future, but to also share their experience via social media and word of mouth. We also saw earlier they did with the Wizard of Oz, so it's something that they're quite keen and like doing. It's a bit different, so let's see how they do it.
It's really nice. It has like really big screen and animation and stuff. It's cool. Yeah. It was fun. It was cool because it was in 3D. It was really good. It was fun. Yeah, I really liked it.
Bless you. Cool. So I think it's, yeah. So we looked earlier a little bit how the competitors, what kind of product offerings they're doing. So now we're going to talk a bit about Odeon. They have a variety of products currently to suit different areas in the market. However, they're not all available at every cinema and they have varying price points. Premier seating, like we spoke about earlier, so it's the extra leg room and typically the best seats in the house. They have them across the Odeon cinemas. However, this is also in View Cinemas, Showcase, Cineworld. Odeon Plus is a new sort of scheme to bring the arts and theatre, sporting events live streamed to the cinema. It's available in most locations across the UK, including Bournemouth. However, there are only 4 sporting events actually screened last year, so it could be something that's has potential in the future to grow. They have IMAX screens, which are available in 14 cinemas, and D-Box is a new technology which is bringing 4D into the cinemas. So it's you sit in your seat and it's all kind of motion activated. It's in sync with the films. So it's a new technology, only available in 2 cinemas, but again, it's something they're looking into. The lounge is something that's new. It's only located currently in London. It's a standalone sort of theatre, and basically what it is it's taking a concept from America. It's a premium product which combines the exclusive bar and restaurant area which serves food and drink with a small intimate screen. You can have your food delivered to you in your seat in the screen, and it's kind of like the really premium product. For over 45s at the moment, currently the only really thing they do is senior discounts and senior screenings, but that's for 65 and over, which currently means